Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtuprayeshu Bhadreshu Tam Shloketi Nashtiki. So continuing with our discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 19th chapter, appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. Text number 21. Sarve vayam tavadihasmahe atha kalevaram yavadaso vihaya lokam param virajasakam vishokam yasyatayam bhagavat pradhanaha. We shall all wait here until the foremost devotee of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit, returns to the supreme planet, which is completely free from all mundane contamination and all kinds of lamentation. So the sages are talking among themselves that we will wait here till he returns back to the spiritual world. Beyond the limitation of the material creation, which is compared to the cloud in the sky, there is the Paravyoma or the spiritual sky, full of planets called Vaikunthas. Somebody is full of planets called Vaikuntha. Such Vaikuntha planets are also differently known as Purushottam Lok, Achyut Lok, Trivikram Lok, Rishikesha Lok, Keshav Lok, Anirudh Lok, Madhav Lok, Pradyumna Lok, Sankarshan Lok, Sridhar Lok, Vasudev Lok, Ayodhya Lok, Dwarka Lok, and many other millions of spiritual lokas wherein the personality of Godhead predominates. All the living entities there are liberated souls with spiritual bodies as good as that of the Lord. Their body is all made of Sat, Chit and Ananda. There is no material contamination. Everything there is spiritual. And therefore there is nothing objectively lamentable. So there is no lamentation, no shock and no moh, nothing, no fear, nothing in the spiritual world. They are full of transcendental bliss and are without birth, death, old age, and disease. And amongst all the above mentioned Vaikuntha Lokas, there is one supreme Loka called Golok Vrindavan, which is the abode of the Lord Shri Krishna and his specific associates. Maharaj Parikshit was destined to achieve this particular Loka, and the great rishis assembled there could foresee this. All of them consulting among themselves about the great departure of the great king, and they wanted to see him up to the last moment because they would no more be able to see such a great devotee of the Lord. So this was their whole purpose of coming there, because they first of all they wanted to see him go there, see Maharaj Parikshit go to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha planets, and another reason was because they won't be able to see such a great devotee again. That's why they were all assembled. When a great devotee of the Lord passes away, there is nothing to be lamented because a devotee is destined to enter into the kingdom of God. But the sorry plight is that such great devotees leave our sight, and therefore there is every reason to be sorry. As the Lord is rarely to be seen by your present eyes, so also are the great devotees. The great rishis therefore correctly decided to remain on the spot till the last moment. So this was their heartfelt desire, that they were there, assembled there, to take darshan of Maharaj Parikshit. Of course, they themselves are very exalted. Look at Narad Muni, Ved Vyas, Parshuramji, Vishwamitra, Vashisht Muni, Gautam Muni, they all are there. Of course, they also are great devotees, but this is the humility of devotees. He doesn't consider himself great. They all are thinking Maharaj Parikshit is greater than us. So we are here to take his darshan. And this is the right mode of transactions between the devotees, right mode of communication between the devotees. Text 22. Ashrutya tad rishi ganvachah parikshit samam madhuchyud guruchavyalikam abhashatanan abhinandya yuktam shushrusham anash charitani Vishnu. All that was spoken by the great sages was very sweet to hear, full of meaning and appropriately presented as perfectly true. So after hearing them, Maharaj Parikshit desiring to hear of the activities of Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, congratulated the great sages. Text 23. Samagata sarvat eva sarve veda yatha murtir dhrastri prishte nehathanamutra cha kaschan artha rite paranugriham atmashilam. The king said, O great sages, you have very kindly assembled here. Having come from all parts of the universe, you are as good as a supreme knowledge personified, who resides in the planet above the three worlds, Satyaloka. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others, but for this you have no interest either in this life or in the next. 6 kinds of opulences, namely wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, are all originally the different attributes pertaining to the absolute personality of God. The living beings who are part and parcel entities of the Supreme Being have all these attributes partially, up to the full strength of 78%. So living beings who are part and parcel of entities of Supreme Being have all these attributes of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. And we have it partially, not even partially. Actually, we have in minute quantities. Brahmaji, who is the topmost living entity in the universe, he has up to 78% of these qualities. In the material world, these attributes, up to 78% of the Lord's attributes, are covered by the material energy as the sun is covered by a cloud. So this 78%, again going back to 78%. Now Krishna has, as we all know, 64 qualities in complete, in absolute terms. So 78% of that 64, it comes to 50 qualities. So a living entity has those 50 qualities, but that too in very minute quantity. So when after doing bhakti, sadhana, tapasya, we become perfect, we will have those 50 qualities up to the extent Krishna wants us to have, obviously. I cannot say the 50 qualities in full because it's all up to Krishna. Then above living entities, the Jiv Tattva, there is Shiv Tattva. So Lord Shiva has 55 qualities. So this 78%, I think in his case becomes 85%. So he has 55 qualities. Then we go further. So Vishnu Tattva, not Krishna, all the Vishnu Tattvas, other Vishnu Tattvas, they have 60 qualities out of 64. So that comes to, I believe, 90 something. I mean, somebody can do the calculation. 60 out of 64 times 100. So that is their demarcation. So only Krishna has all 64 qualities, and that too in complete absolute percentage, 100%. So that is Krishna. So this and so that's why a jiva never becomes Shiva. Shiva is not a post; it's a person. So Lord Shiva, nobody becomes Lord Shiva. So we always remain Jiva. We will always, even if when we go back to the spiritual world, we'll still be in the Jiva category. Will not become Krishna, will not become Radharani or Gopis, will still be in Jiva category. Of course, purified Jiva, but nevertheless Jiva. So not more than this 78%. Even in the exam, 75% is distinction mark, right? We used to have that distinction. Nowadays, it all changed to whatever GPA and whatever they call it these days. So that's also a distinction, right? 78% is pretty good number. So, so that's all we're going to have. So that is also when Mayavadis, they claim, now we all are God. We have forgotten we are God. We all will become God once we realize we are God. That is nonsense. We're not going to get beyond this Jiva category. We'll always be in Jiva Tattva. Of course, in spiritual world will be what is called Nitya Mukta Jiva. Here in the material world, we are Nitya Baddha, eternally conditioned. They will be where they will become eternally liberated. That's all. So title will change, or the category or quality will change, but will remain Jiva, nevertheless. Because every Jiva has its own special, unique relationship with Krishna. So in that relationship will be there. Okay, so these material attributes are covered by the material energy, as the sun is covered by a cloud. The covered strength of the sun is very dim compared to the original glare, and similarly, the original color of the living beings with such attributes becomes almost extinct. There are three planetary systems, namely the lower worlds, the intermediate worlds, and the upper worlds. The human beings on Earth are situated at the beginning of the intermediate worlds, but living beings like Brahma and his contemporaries live in the upper worlds, of which the topmost is Satyaloka. In Satyaloka, the inhabitants are fully cognizant of Vedic wisdom, and thus the mystic cloud of material energy is cleared. Therefore, they are known as the Vedas personified. Such persons, being fully aware of knowledge, both mundane and transcendental, have no interest in either the mundane or transcendental worlds. They are practically desireless devotees. In the mundane world, they have nothing to achieve, and in the transcendental world, they are full in themselves. Then why do they come to the mundane world? They descend on different planets as messiahs by the order of the Lord to deliver the fallen souls. On the earth, they come down and do good to the people of the world in different circumstances, under different climatic influences. They have nothing to do in this world, save and except reclaim the fallen souls rotting in material existence, deluded by material energy. So Prabhupada is talking about the human beings, the jivas, from Satyaloka, the topmost planet, or Brahmaloka. Satyaloka is also known as Brahmaloka. And he's saying they have nothing to achieve, either materially or spiritually. Because in material world, they have no interest. And in spiritual world, they were full in themselves. So what is there to achieve? It's not like in spiritual world, you keep on going higher and higher and higher in the rankings. Nothing. Once we are in our position, in our relationship with Krishna, so that position remains eternally. Of course, that position is ecstatic, it's full of taste, full of sweetness, full of nectar. And every day is a new day. That's a different story. But the person remains in that relationship forever, eternally. So that's why Prabhupada is saying there's nothing to look forward to, nothing to achieve. Only thing they come to the material world is to reclaim the fallen souls who are rotting in material existence, diluted by material energy. So that is the only aim of Vaishnavas. Actually, it is said that what is the thing that Vaishnavas do in this material world? They don't remain here for anything else except to reclaim, to save the fallen conditioned souls, to bring them back in the service of Krishna. That's all. Otherwise, they have nothing to achieve in the material world. Tatashtu vaha prichyam imam vipriche vishrambya vipra iti kritya yatayam sarvatmanam riyamanescha krityam shuddham cha tatra mrishatabhyukta. O trustworthy Brahmins, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after the proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die. So this quote by Parikshit Maharaj has been cited by Prabhupada so many times that Parikshit Maharaj asked this question: what's the duty of a person who is about to die? And then he would relate to all of us that actually we all are about to die. At least in Parikshit Maharaj's case, he knew he has 7 days to live. And we are not assured of even 7 minutes. So we should be asking this question, and we should be, in fact, working on the answer that the sages gave him. Oh, in fact, the Sukadeva Goswami gave him, not the sages. In this verse, the king has placed 2 questions before the learned sages. The first question is that what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances? And the second question is, what is the specific duty of one who is to die very shortly? Out of the 2, the questions relating to the dying man is most important because everyone is a dying man, either very shortly or after 100 years. The duration of life is immaterial, but the duty of a dying man is very important. Maharaj Parikshit placed these 2 questions before Sukadeva Goswami also on his arrival, and practically the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning from the 2nd canto up to the last 12th canto, deals with these 2 questions. So this is it. This is the basis of Bhagavatam, these 2 questions. What is the duty of everybody in all circumstances? Means what is the dharma, and what is a specific duty that he is supposed to do at the time of death. The conclusion arrived at thereof is the devotional service of Lord Shri Krishna, as it is confirmed by the Lord himself in the last phases of the Bhagavad Gita, is the last word in relation to everyone's permanent duty in life. Maharaj Parikshit was already aware of this fact, but he wanted the great sages assembled there to unanimously give their verdict on his conviction, so that he might be able to go on with his confirmed duty without controversy. He has especially mentioned the word Shuddha, or perfectly correct. For transcendental realization or self-realization, many processes are recommended by various classes of philosophers. Some of them are first-class methods, and some of them are second or third-class methods. The first-class method demands that one give up all other methods and surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and thus be saved from all sins and their reactions. So this is the topmost method, is just to surrender, give up everything and surrender. So these are the questions, and Parikshit Maharaj will ask more questions. Slowly the whole conversation will be revealed. Text 25. Tatra bhavad bhagavan vyasaputro yadrikshya gamatmanvanapekshaha alekshya lingo nijala batushto vritascha balar avdhuta veshaha. At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. Means he was completely naked. He was not at all attached. He was roaming around the whole earth, disinterested and satisfied with, means he didn't need anything from outside. And we'll see what they were doing. Okay, and here in Bhagavatam, it says, the shloka says, Tatra bhavad Bhagavan. So he is called Bhagavan here. Why? Let's see. In the Prabhupada says, the word Bhagavan is sometimes used in relation with some of the great devotees of the Lord, like Sukadeva Goswami. So in later chapters, sometimes Narad Muni is also referred to as Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, as we know, the term Bhagavan means one who has the six opulences in full, right? Wealth, strength, fame, power, or beauty and renunciation. Wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. So, a great devotee or a pure devotee of the Lord has these qualities to, obviously, in a great extent, not to as equal as Krishna, but to a great extent they have. So that's why they are sometimes, or can be referred to as Bhagavan, one who has these opulences to certain great degree. Such liberated souls are disinterested in the affairs of this material world because they are self-satisfied by the great achievements of devotion service. As explained before, Sukadeva Goswami never accepted any formal spiritual master, nor did he undergo any formal reformatory performances. His father, Vyasadeva, was his natural spiritual master because Sukadeva Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam from him. After this, he became completely self-satisfied. Thus, he was not dependent on any formal process. The formal processes are necessary for those who are expected to reach the stage of complete liberation. But Sri Sukadeva Goswami was already in that status by the grace of his father. So he was already a completely liberated person. So he didn't need any reformatory process or the initiation process. As a young boy, he was expected to be properly dressed, but he went about naked and was uninterested in social customs. He was neglected by the general populace, and inquisitive boys and women surrounded him as if he were a madman. So he looked like a madman to all women and children. He thus appears on the scene while traveling on the earth of his own accord. It appears that upon the inquiry of Maharaj Parikshit, the great sages were not unanimous in their decision as to what was to be done. So even Narad Muni, Vyasadeva, they all were not exactly sure. What's the dharma of a person, and what is a person supposed to do who is about to die. For spiritual salvation, there were many prescriptions according to different modes of different persons. But the ultimate aim of life is to attain the highest perfection stage of devotional service to the Lord. As doctors differ, so also sages differ in their different prescriptions. While such things were going on, the great and powerful son of Vyasadeva appeared on the scene. Also, we can also understand about the sages in this way, that Krishna's Yog Maya was working on them because he wanted to glorify Sukadeva Goswami. He wanted Parikshit Maharaj to hear from Sukadeva Goswami. So that also could be the reason that the sages differed in their response to Parikshit Maharaj's question. But when Sukadeva Goswami arrived, everybody unanimously chose him to be the speaker of Bhagavatam. And this is what you can see in the picture behind me. Sukadeva Goswami will sit down to speak, Parikshit Maharaj is listening, and so are all the great sages. And even in this assembly, like in the assembly at Naimisharamya we saw, in this assembly, only Parikshit Maharaj will ask the questions. Nobody else will. It's amazing. This cooperation is really amazing. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody having questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Regarding the question of dying, so we get remind of death only when we see someone, our close one or friend getting dying. So other than that, we don't feel it like that we will die someday.
So the best person is one who hears it and understands. Second best is one who sees it, then he understands. Third best is when he does it and then understands. The fourth is he still doesn't understand, even after doing it, hearing it, and seeing it. So it's up to us. That's what the scriptures are there. By hearing again and again, we understand that death is inevitable. Of course, that's what it says, no? As sure as death. So death is inevitable, and everybody who has taken birth, he is going to die, and so are we. And there is no fixed time when are we going to die. So we better get serious about the after death process. What will happen to us after death?
But Prabhuji, one question, like when we get aware of death, then there is also a fear of living the life with less motivation. I mean, in fulfilling the material duties, then we start using that as an excuse that one day we have to die, so let it be for everything.
That's not the right way, because Arjun, after hearing the whole Bhagavad Gita, he fought the war so nicely, with so much of determination. So death, well, we are going to die, but that doesn't mean we can give up our duties. We have to do our duties, but at the same time, we have to know what's the ultimate duty that I have to do. So both the duties have to go on hand in hand. For us, knowing which one to give priority to at what time of the day. So if that way we live our life, then we good. Death doesn't mean we don't do our duties. Death means we do our duties properly, but still doing the ultimate duty more properly. We living in the household life, we cannot imitate sannyasis and brahmacharis. That's not recommended at all. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, if one is fulfilling the spiritual duty very carefully, so does it also aligns his material duties as well? I mean, it helps in fulfilling the rest of duties.
Yeah, it depends what kind of guide one gets when he's performing spiritual duties properly. So now it's a guide. If he guides this person properly, then he can learn properly and do the material duties also properly. So both have to go hand in hand. Both have to. Otherwise, otherwise there'll be chaos and there could be problems in our spiritual duties as well. Because if we are not at that level, if we think I can leave everything and go sit in the temple and maybe chant whole day, how long we can do that if we are not ready? So the idea is to get ourselves qualified, entitled to do spiritual duties 24 hours a day. Then we can. But if we are not, then the material duties, with so-called material, we consider those as responsibilities given to me by Krishna. So those duties also become spiritual. It depends how we look at them. Arjun was shooting arrows, he was killing people, but that was considered his devotional service to Krishna. Now it depends how we look at it. So all our duties are actually spiritual. But if somebody thinks this is like taking care of house, taking care of job, taking care of my car, it's not spiritual, it's material, then he cannot even really he cannot survive in a like a full temple atmosphere either. Because there also it won't be whole day you'll be doing kirtan, you'll be doing so many other services. So then the person will get disturbed over there also. So it's a matter of transforming our consciousness, nothing else.
And Prabhuji, we hear usually this line that in office or in home, whatever duties you have been given, think it as Krishna is giving all these duties and fulfill them for Krishna.
Yeah. Of course, without his arrangement, how we will get those duties? It's not possible. Of course, at work we still spend so much time on our emails and sending WhatsApp messages. Maybe Krishna related, but we don't do our work and spend time in this also. But that's okay. Not too much. Don't do it too much, but you still have to do your work, do your projects.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Hemant Prabhu.
Sorry, I just joined in to ask few questions actually.
Okay.
Probably there are some karmas like we actually it's very difficult to avoid. Like if we get a termite in the home, then we have to get a termite treatment done. Or if we are getting a project, like if I am going to work for a company which serves, I make a software for a company or which serves non-veg. So actually I can't avoid both of them. So what to do?
So just do it. Chant Krishna's name and do it.
I actually don't want
What
to
else
do
to
it
do?
actually.
I know, but if there is no other option, then chant and do it.
Okay.
See, if we consider about the developing software for a meat selling company or whatever. So in those list of 6 people who are considered accomplice to a person who is eating meat, So the list doesn't contain of a person who's developing software. So you're okay. So it doesn't say who one who develops software, he gets the same punishment. So you're okay.
Okay.
And about the termites, you are protecting your house. You're not going after them. The termites are sitting somewhere in the field and you're going to kill them. No, you're protecting your house. It's okay.
Okay, bro.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Thank you all very much.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much,
Jai
Prabhuji.
Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.